My chitti is here, my mother's youngest sister. Chinni Mahalakshmi Subhash is here, and I want to thank her.
So now you black. Now you black, Kamala. Yeah, right. See, you think we boo-boo the foo-foo. We're not boo-boo the foo-foo.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
That is the black scent that all of these politicians bring out every 4 years when they want to go talk to the black folks.
From false claims about her heritage to dubious stories about her musical tastes, Kamala Harris has always been a contentious figure. But has she really lost the black vote for good? Is Kamala really black, or is she just acting? Why does she feel the need to fake her identity? Kamala seems to be falling apart before our very eyes.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
That is the black scent that all of these politicians bring out every 4 years when they want to go talk to the black folks.
And how about that advertisement having Taji P. Henson? Was it sincere, or just another staged attempt to seem relatable?
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they're not like us.
How can she mess up something as easy as naming the best rapper currently living?
Best rapper alive.
Tupac.
He's not alive. You say he lives on.
But not a lot. I know. I keep doing that.
Not to be forgotten are the accusations regarding her husband's infidelity. How does this affect her political reputation? Is her public persona simply a set of skillfully constructed lies? Social media is ablaze with responses as people question whether black voters are seeing through the facade. What are the real causes of Kamala's estrangement from the black community? Although her ascent to the U.S. vice president was historic, her relationship with the black community has always been tense. Many believe that her efforts to court black voters are, at most, deceptive. One of the most famous disputes concerns her claims regarding her ancestry.
My chitti is here, my mother's youngest sister. Chinni Mahalakshmi Subhash is here, and I want to thank her.
So now you black. Now you black, Kamala. Yeah, right. See, you think we boo-boo the foo-foo. We're not boo-boo the foo-foo.
Critics argue that Kamala strategically emphasizes her black heritage when it's politically convenient while downplaying her Indian background. Remember, when Kamala claimed to have listened to Tupac and Snoop Dogg during her college years. The only problem, neither artist had released any music when she was in college. This gaffe wasn't just a misstep. It seemed like a calculated attempt to relate to black voters through shared cultural touchstones. But does Kamala really understand the culture she's trying to connect with, or is she just saying what she thinks people want to hear? For context, during a 2019 appearance on The Breakfast Club, co-host Charlamagne the God asked Harris about claims that she was not African American simply because her parents were immigrants. So I was born in Oakland and raised in the United States. Except for the years that I was in high school in Montreal, Canada, Harris replied in this is the same thing they did to Barack Obama. This is not new to us. And so I think that we know what they are trying to do. As for being black, she put it plainly, I'm black, and I'm proud of being black. I was born black, I will die black, and I'm not going to make excuses for anybody because they don't understand the reason. Several people seem to have a hard time believing her story is that she's made a lot of revelations about herself by herself, which many black people seem to believe implies that she's not one of them. For starters, there was the time in that same interview she mentioned how she'd spoken about West through laughter and a casual interview on a morning radio show on Manda. Kamala Harris clarified her support for the legalization of weed and took it one step further, telling the host she smoked in her college days, and yes, she said she inhaled. Have you ever smoked? Charlamagne the God asked Harris, the then senator from California and 2020 presidential candidate. I have, and I inhaled. I did inhale, she responded with laughter, making a joke about former President Bill Clinton's claim while he was running for president that he had smoked the drug while at graduate school at Oxford, but didn't like it and never inhaled.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhaled. I did inhale. It was a long time ago.
It's been a while, but yes, she said, laughing alongside Charlamagne and co-host DJ Envy. Harris, a former Attorney General of California, also refuted stories that she opposes legalizing marijuana, saying that it brings joy to many people and that we need more joy. However, there was one part of the interview where Harris talked about her MJ pranks that seemed to convince people that she might not be a truth teller. She said that she smoked while in college and that she listened to Snoop Dogg and Tupac Shakur while high. What songs did you listen to when you were high?
What were you listening to when you was high? What was on? What song?
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, definitely Snoop. Tupac.
Here's the issue: Tupac's career didn't take off until the early 1990s when he made his start in the same song on Digital Underground, which was featured on the soundtrack of the 1991 movie Nothing But Trouble. Harris graduated from Howard in 1986 and from law school in 1989. Snoop Dogg, then known as Snoop Doggy Dogg, didn't start until 1992.
What Kamala Harris did was a little bit more than irritating, right? Because remember, this is the same woman who prosecuted tens of thousands of Black people for smoking marijuana.
So either Harris was baked enough to time travel, or she hit the bong after being in school not cool for a candidate whose slogan is speaking truth, demand, and justice. Most likely many believe she's just trying to curate a playlist that sends the right message, but lying for it is where people have a problem. Suffice it to say, many people weren't buying the Forsyth story. But there were still those who came to her defense, like this user who wrote, "Just an FYI to anyone reading this in context, she's answering the original question asked of her of Babak what music she listens to, and she is ignoring the question about smoking W in college. This explains why." She also includes Cardi B in the list. Even if this user was right, that was not the only detail that came out about her trying to pander to the African American community. In fact, the other report that came out confirmed to several members of the community that she wasn't one of them at the time. The headline literally said she attended an HBCU to be immersed in Black culture in the 1980s. Harris attended Howard University in Washington, D.C., and she found that the experience of going to historically Black colleges and universities proved particularly important when it came to feeling connected to the community in 2019. She told the Washington Post, "When you're at an HBCU, and especially one with the size and with the history of Howard University, and also in the context of also being in D.C., which was known forever as being Chocolate City, it just becomes about you understanding that there is a whole world of people who are like you. It's not just about there are a few of us who may find each other to several people if." She had to go to a predominantly Black university to get the African American experience. Then she probably isn't one at heart, but this isn't a new tactic for Harris. Throughout her career, she's often found herself at odds with her own narrative. While serving as California's Attorney General, she earned a reputation as a tough-on-crime prosecutor, a stance that doesn't align with the progressive ideals she now claims to champion.
Many of you know, before I was elected as vice president, before I was elected as United States Senator, I was the elected Attorney General, as I've mentioned, of California. And before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor.
One of the most criticized aspects of Harris's career as district attorney was her aggressive stance on truancy. Harris introduced a policy that prosecuted parents of chronically truant children, arguing that regular school attendance was crucial for a child's future success. While the intention behind the policy was to ensure children stayed in school, it resulted in punitive measures against families, many of whom were struggling with systemic issues such as poverty, racism, and lack of access to resources. Critics argue that instead of addressing the root causes of truancy, this policy further criminalized already vulnerable families. Harris also faced criticism for her support of California's 3 strikes law, which mandated life sentences for individuals convicted of 3 serious offenses. Critics argue that this law disproportionately affected Black and Latino communities, leading to mass incarceration and breaking up families. The perception that Harris supported such a harsh policy has lingered, fueling skepticism about her commitment to criminal justice reform. As Attorney General of California, Harris continued to implement policies that drew criticism from civil rights advocates. Her tenure from 2011 to 2017 included decisions and policies that, while intended to uphold the law, often resulted in adverse outcomes for Black communities. Despite increasing public outcry against police brutality and the need for reform, Harris was perceived as not doing enough to address these issues. She faced criticism for not supporting statewide initiatives to mandate body cameras for police officers or to appoint special prosecutors to investigate police shootings. Another controversial stance was her office's fight to preserve the state's right to use prison labor, arguing that it was necessary for maintaining the state's workforce. This stance drew significant backlash, as it was seen as perpetuating a system that exploited incarcerated individuals, many of whom were Black. Critics saw this as an endorsement of modern-day slavery, further deepening distrust among those who had already suffered under the criminal justice system. The Black community has experienced systemic injustices from the police and judicial system for generations. Harris' record as a prosecutor is seen by many as part of this system, raising doubts about her ability to champion the changes needed to address these deep-seated issues. There is a significant trust deficit between the Black community and Kamala Harris. Due to her prosecutorial past, many view her policies as having contributed to the mass incarceration and criminalization of Black individuals, rather than addressing the root causes of crime, such as poverty and lack of education. Her record as a prosecutor has been criticized for its harshness, and lack of empathy toward marginalized communities, particularly Black Americans. This has led to accusations that Kamala is trying to rewrite her history to fit a more appealing narrative. What's more, there have been accusations that Kamala allegedly slept her way to the top.
Every time that someone tried to interject the truth about Kamala, which is that she slept her way to the top, it's a fact. She was with some 6-year-old man, got her start in the political career, and they would go, oh my gosh, how dare you say this? That's so sad. Well, then suddenly
Kamala Harris's career has long been intertwined with her relationship with Willie Brown, a prominent Democratic figure in California politics. When Harris was a local prosecutor in Oakland, she dated Brown, who was 30 years older than her. Brown, a former San Francisco mayor, was instrumental in launching her political career. Willie Brown, now 90, once Warren Harris in a 220 oped in the San Francisco Chronicle to turn down Joe Biden's offer to be his vice presidential running. He wrote that the role of vice president often leads to a dead end, citing examples like Al Gore, who never became president despite being vice president throughout her career. Harris has had to address the notion that her relationship with Brown was a crucial factor in her political rise. The relationship ended decades ago, but it has continued to be a topic of discussion. Harris once described Brown as an albatross hanging around my neck. Although their relationship has often been called an affair, it's worth noting that Brown was separated from his wife Blanche Farrow for over 10 years when he and Harris dated in the mid-1990s. Their past relationship resurfaced in January 2019, when Brown published an op-ed in the San Francisco Chronicle titled "Sure, I Dated Kamala Harris, So What?" In it, he acknowledged their relationship and mentioned his support for her first race for district attorney in San Francisco, as well as his assistance to other notable politicians like Nancy Pelosi, Gavin Newsom, and Dianne Feinstein. Harris and Brown's relationship, which ended in 1995, was not kept secret. On December 26, 1995, San Francisco Chronicle reporter Herb Caen mentioned in his column that the couple had split, surprising many who found Harris attractive, intelligent, and charming. Brown served as San Francisco's first Black mayor from 1996 to 2004. When they met around 1993, Brown was a well-known lawyer and civil rights leader, serving as the Speaker of the California Assembly and considered one of the state's most influential legislators at the time. Brown was 60 and Harris was 20. Never rep. Brown was known for his flashy lifestyle, including a love for Jaguar sports cars and designer suits, which he called bold conservative. He was even named one of the world's 10 sexiest men by Playgirl magazine. Bill Clinton once called him the real slick Willie. Brown's flamboyant personality was highlighted by his habit of attending parties with both his wife and his girlfriend. His girlfriend Harris, on the other hand, was seen as a hardworking and capable prosecutor on the rise at the Alama County District Attorney's Office, where she had been working for 3 years. Brown gifted Harris a BMW and also helped her secure 2 influential positions. In 1994, the Los Angeles Times reported that Brown, then Assembly Speaker, appointed Harris to the California Medical Assistance Commission, a job paying $72,000 a year. She was described by many at the Capitol as Brown's girlfriend. He also appointed her to the state's Unemployment Insurance Appeals Board, which paid $997,188 a year. Despite their breakup, Brown continued to support Harris's political career. In 2004, she was elected as San Francisco's first Black district attorney, a position that marked a significant milestone in her career. Additionally, her marriage to Douglas Emhoff, a white man, has led to discussions about her commitment to Black communities. In fact, one person commented on this, saying, "Kamala Harris isn't Black and nothing about her is Black culture. Black people have been duped again. Black women, isn't she married to a white man and white Indian kids? But a lot of Black women secretly wish they were in her position. Racially ambiguous, married to a white guy # Black vote." However, Kamala's political life is not just marred by her own controversies. Her husband, Doug Emhoff, has faced allegations of infidelity which have been splashed across tabloids and social media alike. Second gentleman Doug Emhoff cheated on his first wife Kirsten with the blonde nanny, who also taught at their children's pricey private school. The woman, Najin Naylor, did not deny the story when approached by Daily Mail at her home in the New York millionaire's playground, the Hamptons. A close friend with direct knowledge of the affair in pregnancy told Daily Mail that Naylor did not keep the child, though her social media shows a video of a mysterious baby girl named Brooke in 2009, the year the baby would have been born. Another friend, Stacey Brooks, who mothered twin boys around the same time as Naylor was expecting, also did not deny any of the claims, but said she would not divulge further information without Naylor's permission. Moff and movie producer ex-wife Kirsten ended their 16-year marriage in 2009 when she discovered the affair. The sources said their daughter Ella was 10 and son Cole was 15 at the time. Sources claimed that after the affair, Naylor had to leave her job as a teacher at the Willows, an elite private elementary school in Culver City, California, where she had been teaching the Emhoff children and moonlighting as a nanny for the couple. A mother who sent her children to the school before 2009 said, She was aware of the affair, and though she was disgusted by Moff, she only had positive words for Naylor, who had taught her children and nannied them on family vacation. She was a lovely person, a great teacher to my kid, the mother revealed. Another friend with intimate knowledge of the scandal confirmed the affair with Moff but told Daily Mail that Naylor did not keep the baby. This alleged infidelity adds another layer to the growing disillusionment among black voters. In any case, many feel that Kamala's personal life mirrors her political one, full of contradictions and untruths. But how much of this is true, and how much is mere speculation? One of the most notable criticisms of Kamala is her use of a Southern black accent when speaking to predominantly black audiences. Critics argue that this is a blatant attempt to appear relatable rather than genuine.
You all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
That is the black scent that all of these politicians bring out every 4 years when they want to go talk to the black folk.
Not only is this about her speech style, but it's also about what she stands for. Her habit of altering her accent based on the crowd begs the question of whether she is being sincere or if it's a calculated attempt to win over voters. To make matters worse, her most recent advertisement featuring Taji P. Henson, which was meant to appeal to black voters, failed miserably.
Yeah, girl, I'm out here in these streets. And let me tell you, you're right, Taraji. There is so much at stake in this moment. The majority of us believe in freedom and equality. But these extremists, as they say, they not like us.
As one former user put it, Kamala talks about these streets as if she was part of them, but her actions tell a different story. The discrepancy between her words and her reality is becoming harder to ignore. However, perhaps the most bizarre event in Kamala's career was the stage conversation with child actors that was presented as an organic interaction, but quickly unraveled as a scripted performance. Instead of resonating with authenticity, the ad was highly criticized for being cringeworthy in tone of.
I just love the idea of exploring the unknown. And then there's other things that we just haven't figured out or discovered yet. To think about so much that's out there that we still have to learn.
Kamala's public speaking has also come under scrutiny, known for her word salads, long-winded, confusing answers that go nowhere, and her frequent problems when speaking off the cuff. This episode added fuel to the fire, casting doubt on her ability to truly connect with people if she needs actors to simulate authenticity.
A president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliance.
These awkward speech patterns suggest that Kama is unable to express herself clearly and succinctly in the absence of a script. Critics contend that her reliance on pre-written scenes reveals a shallow understanding of issues impacting the black community and her policy views. If she is unable to lead effectively, how can she lead effectively? These scandals have significantly damaged Kama's image among black voters, who think that despite her historic role, she hasn't really represented their interests.
Before y'all Democrats start trying to play the race card, I want y'all to understand this. Kamala is not black, her kids is not black, her husband is not black, she does not come from black culture, so don't tell me I gotta support Kamala Harris because—
Many black voters have expressed disappointment and dissatisfaction on social media, viewing Kamala as someone who tries to use their culture for political advantage rather than as a friend who actually cares about their difficulties.
Kamala has played a part, just like Joe Biden, in persecuting and putting African American people in jail by the droves. The only reason why Kamala is a vice president in the first place is because she's black. It is not because she is qualified. It is not because she is competent. It is because she's black. Somebody is willing to put someone in a seat for their color, even when they're not qualified to do a favor, please.
Despite her efforts to connect, Kamala's actions often contradict her words. Whether it's her record as a prosecutor or her shifting narratives, voters are increasingly skeptical of her authenticity. It's not about whether she's black, Indian, or any other race. It's about trust, and right now Kamala hasn't earned it. Kamala Harris stands at a crossroads. Her role as vice president is historic, yet her relationship with the black community is fraught with tension. The controversies surrounding her aren't just distractions, they're symptomatic of a larger issue of perceived lack of authenticity and trust. For Kamala to regain the trust of black voters, she needs to go beyond performative gestures and embrace genuine engagement. Actions speak louder than words, and for Kamala Harris, the time for talk is over. Only by addressing these issues head-on can she hope to repair the damage and truly represent the community she claims to champion. The question remains, will Kamala Harris rise to the occasion? Or will she continue to stumble through a sea of controversy and mistrust? Only time will tell. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.